êtes mis dans de sales draps. Sachez.
This incredible film begins with a young boy named Angelo, sitting at the breakfast table with his family. But in his mind, he isn't just a kid eating toast. In his imagination, he's older, taller, stronger, a legendary adventurer searching for the Holy Grail. In this fantasy world, everything feels real. His older brother appears as the main villain, a ruthless hunter who kills animals and destroys nature without remorse. Inside Angelo's mind, a massive battle explodes like a blockbuster movie, full of action, danger, and heroism. Then reality hits. Angelo's mother suddenly receives a phone call. Her smile disappears. Her voice shakes. Angelo's grandmother is in critical condition, very close to death. And this isn't just any grandmother. She's Angelo's entire world. She's the one who played cards with him for hours. The one who sat beside him during movies and shared candy in secret. The one who hugged him in a way that made everything feel safe and warm. Her hugs were more powerful than magic. Without wasting a second, the family throws themselves into the car to rush to her house. His father grips the steering wheel. His mother watches over the baby. Angelo sits in the back seat, arguing loudly with his older brother. Their fight grows louder and louder until his father finally shouts for silence. The tension fills the car, and they decide to stop at a roadside rest area. While the adults are distracted, Angelo slowly wanders away. In his mind, the rest stop transforms into a dangerous jungle. The trash area becomes a battlefield. He's lost inside another adventure inside his imagination. And then, the unthinkable happens. The family gets back into the car and drives away. No one notices Angelo is missing. Angelo runs toward the road, screaming, waving his arms, trying to chase the car. A passing vehicle nearly hits him. Night begins to fall. The sky turns dark. The cold air wraps around him. He realizes he is completely alone. The world feels empty, forgotten. He collapses to the ground and cries, not just with fear, but with a broken heart. That's when his inner hero appears. This hero is the adult version of himself, the brave man he imagines every time he needs strength. The hero tells him to stand up, to remember his mission. He must reach his grandmother. He must save her. Angelo clutches his small compass. The needle spins and points straight toward her house, directly through a dark, unknown forest. He steps forward, and the world changes. Darkness swallows him as twisted tree branches loom overhead. Strange whispers and sounds echo from all directions. Then, suddenly, a warm, glowing light appears in front of him. The light guides him to a massive, ancient tree. Its trunk opens like a secret doorway, and Angelo walks inside. He enters a hidden world. A world where plants glow, where the air shimmers, where everything feels alive and breathing. With the sunrise, Angelo encounters an army of talking ants. At first, they see him as an enemy and attack without hesitation. As he runs from them, gigantic robotic machines crash through the forest, slicing down enormous trees. The falling trees nearly crush the ants, but Angelo leaps into action and saves them. The ants freeze in shock. Nobody had ever protected them before. Grateful and amazed, they thank him and no longer see him as an enemy. Back in the real world, the family sleeps inside the moving car. Everyone except the father. But even he is too distracted, lost inside conversations with the car's artificial intelligence, completely unaware that his own son is missing. Back in the magical forest, Angelo encounters what seems to be a strange green bird. But the truth is stranger. It's actually a squirrel wearing a bird costume. She has dreamed her whole life of flying, but her father forbade it. So she lives in secret, pretending to be a bird even though she can't truly fly. Angelo refuses to let that dream die. He ties a balloon to her back, and she rises into the sky. For the first time in her life, she is flying. From above, she sees something horrifying, a massive fire burning through huge sections of the forest, devouring everything in its path. Suddenly, a giant flying metal ship cuts through the clouds. Inside sits General Ultra, a golden, mechanical man. Strangely, before commanding his army, he casually attends a therapy session, as if mass destruction is just another stressful job. His army consists of terrifying mechanical creatures, including a massive metal worm with a giant glowing eye. The moment they spot the flying squirrel, Ultra gives the order, "Capture her." 3 giant tree-destroying robots are released into the forest, tearing through everything. Meanwhile, Angelo continues deeper into this strange living world, mesmerized by glowing plants and bizarre creatures. Exhaustion begins to weigh him down, and suddenly, the earth shakes. A gigantic creature made entirely of plants and twisting vines rises from the ground. The giant, instead of screaming or running, Angelo offers the creature a snack. He smiles and gives him a name, Goo. The giant is gentle and calm, but the moment he senses the machines nearby, fear fills him. He retreats and falls into a deep sleep. Not long after, a robotic insect captures Angelo and lifts him into the air, but before it can escape, a rock smashes straight into it. The rock was thrown by Sasa. A wild, blue-haired ogre girl bursts into view. She's fearless, loud, playful, and completely unpredictable. She flirts with Angelo, blows him a kiss, and dramatically performs a romantic poem right in front of him. She reveals that she belongs to the Resistance, a group fighting against Ultra's mechanical army. And just as quickly as she appeared, she disappears. Angelo continues walking until he meets a frog placing a wooden sign into the ground. The words carved into it read, "Valley of Despair." The frog sits at a piano and begins to play. And as the music flows, a magical projection appears, showing the past. The valley was once beautiful, full of green life, full of laughter and color, until General Ultra arrived with his machines and crushed everything. The creatures of the forest were forced to flee if they wanted to survive. Ultra's true goal is revealed. He wants the source of life, a legendary spring said to cure all disease and even defeat death itself. But no one knows where it is. Angelo steps into the Valley of Despair anyway. The heat is unbearable. The air feels like fire. Desperate, he hides under a cloud and begs for rain. But the cloud speaks, telling him that rain comes with conditions. It says Angelo must face his anger. Angelo loses control. He becomes rude. He shouts. He says cruel things. The cloud snaps. It turns dark, violent. A raging storm explodes from it. Rain crashes down like weapons. A massive flood forms. The water picks Angelo up and hurls him away. The flying squirrel tries desperately to save him but fails. A giant wave slams into his body and drags him underwater. As darkness surrounds him and he sinks, huge hands appear. Goo, the gentle giant. He saves Angelo. Meanwhile, high above the forest inside a massive flying warship, General Ultra finally locks onto a strange energy signal. That signal is Angelo. The scanners mark him as a threat. Ultra doesn't hesitate. He gives the cold, mechanical order, eliminate the boy. After barely surviving the violent flood, Angelo wakes up coughing and soaked. The world around him feels quiet, too quiet. Then a strange, ghostly figure floats toward him. A genie, pale, glowing, mysterious. It speaks softly and offers him a single wish. Angelo doesn't even think. He wishes for only one thing, for his grandmother to be healed. The genie produces a tiny bottle and hands it to him, claiming it contains a liquid powerful enough to defeat sickness, even death itself. Angelo's eyes light up. He believes he has finally found it, the source of life. But nothing comes free. The genie demands payment. Angelo empties every coin from his piggy bank into the genie's hand. The spirit smiles and vanishes into thin air. Before Angelo can catch his breath, the sky rips open. One of Ultra's flying machines dives down and captures him, dragging him up into the metal warship. He is brought face to face with General Ultra. Ultra looks terrifying, tall, golden, and robotic, but in reality, he's ridiculous. He can't even control his own spinning chair, bumping awkwardly into walls. Still, he proudly introduces himself as the Destroyer of Worlds. He demands to know if Angelo is part of the Resistance. Angelo tells the truth. He says he's just a kid trying to save his sick grandmother. Ultra laughs. Then he reveals the real nightmare. He has been searching for the source of life for years, and he is certain it's hidden somewhere inside this forest. Then he unveils his ultimate weapon, a colossal bomb, big enough to wipe out the entire forest in one blast. His plan is simple: destroy everything until the source is exposed. Angelo can't stay silent. He calls Ultra evil. That single word shatters what little patience Ultra had left. In a furious rage, he orders Angelo to be thrown away. Angelo is dragged into a dark robot repair chamber, where metal worms crawl across broken robots, replacing parts like surgeons. When they scan Angelo, they panic. He isn't metal. He isn't wires. He's alive. Terrified and confused, they eject him from the airship. Angelo falls through the clouds, screaming, until he crashes down onto a tiny flying vessel below. As it stabilizes, he sees a familiar face, the flying squirrel. With urgency in his voice, Angelo warns her to find the resistance and tell them about Ultra's plan to erase the forest with his bomb. The squirrel nods and flies off. Seconds later, the small ship loses control and Angelo crashes straight into a snow-covered mountain. Cut to reality for a moment. Inside the family car, nothing has changed. Angelo's father is still absent-mindedly chatting with the car's artificial intelligence as if his son isn't missing. Time is moving, but nobody has noticed the disaster. Back in the other world, Angelo wakes up alone in the freezing mountains. His breath turns into mist, his hands shake. Then, a delicious smell floats through the icy air. He follows the smell and discovers a massive, mysterious castle hidden in the snow. Inside, he finds something unbelievable. A magical pizza stuck inside a stone like a legendary sword. Without hesitation, he grabs it and takes a huge bite. That single bite wakes something ancient. A massive blue ogre appears. But instead of roaring like a simple monster, he introduces himself like a smooth-talking real estate agent. He explains that he plans to build new developments over the destroyed forest. He's inspecting the land when the smell of pizza distracted him. Then he sees Angelo, and his hunger changes direction. The ogre charges. Angelo runs, sprinting across a broken wooden bridge that shakes violently with every step. Just as he's about to escape, the ogre leaps through the air and grabs him. The bridge collapses, sending both of them falling into the forest depths. By some miracle, Angelo lands on top of the ogre, using his massive body like a cushion. But mercy doesn't exist. The ogre lifts him up, ready to devour him. Then the earth explodes. Trees burst apart, vines whip through the air. Goo erupts from the forest, slamming away the ogre and saving Angelo at the very last second. At the same time, Sasa appears, furious. She yells at Ogre, calling him Dad, accusing him of nearly eating her boyfriend. Angelo stands there, red-faced and completely embarrassed. The flying squirrel suddenly swoops in, excitedly announcing that she successfully warned the resistance about Ultra's plan. Sasa turns to Goo and yells a command, "Call the forest." Goo answers. Instantly, everything responds. The grumpy cloud darkens the sky. The piano-playing frog stops singing and prepares for battle. The army of ants gathers in perfect formation. The forest is awake, but General Ultra is faster. He activates the giant bomb. The grumpy cloud dives in to stop him, wrapping around the device, but Ultra slams the button anyway. The bomb begins to drop. Right before impact, Goo catches the bomb with enormous branches, jamming its mechanism and stopping it midair. Ultra snaps. He unleashes everything. Mowing machines, flying drones, mechanical beasts. They swarm Goo, ripping through the forest. As the battle erupts, the flying squirrel carries Angelo and Sasa straight toward Ultra's warship. Outside, the blue ogre fights robots with raw strength. Inside the ship, the frog climbs aboard using her loyal worm and opens secret paths so the ants can invade. Chaos erupts inside the vessel. Ultra's soldiers try to spray the ants with insecticide and end up blasting Ultra himself by accident. Deep in the heart of the ship, Angelo and Sasa finally reach the power core. They see a massive glowing energy source. Sasa doesn't hesitate. She smashes it. One by one, the machines across the forest shut down. Silence spreads. But Ultra is not finished. Breaking free from the ants, furious and desperate, he reveals his final form, a terrifying robotic combat suit. And the truth is exposed. General Ultra is not a giant machine. He's a tiny dwarf hiding inside armor the entire time. With the suit, he becomes deadly. He overpowers Sasa and prepares to finish her. That's when Angelo steps forward. Angelo fights him, a simple boy against a machine. And slowly he wins. He damages the armor. He weakens Ultra. In the middle of the chaos, Sasa nearly falls onto the jammed bomb. Angelo rushes toward her, trying to save her, when Ultra suddenly kicks the bomb, dragging both Angelo and Sasa into a terrifying fall toward the forest. At the last possible second, the flying squirrel dives and saves them, but the bomb keeps flying, straight toward the forest. Goo rises from beneath the soil, swallows the bomb whole, and launches it into the sky where it detonates, destroying Ultra's entire ship in a massive blast of light. The victory costs Gu everything. He collapses. The land turns gray. The forest looks dead. Angelo believes he's lost everything. He falls to his knees. A single tear hits the soil, and life answers. Green spreads across the ground. Leaves grow. Flowers bloom. Gu's body begins to glow, and slowly he awakens. The forest is alive again. Everyone celebrates, not just a victory, but a rebirth. Now it's time for Angelo to return home. He says goodbye to Sasa, giving her a shy kiss on the cheek. She blushes as everyone laughs. Gu opens a glowing tunnel, and Angelo steps back toward the real world. Ultra, reduced to a powerless tiny dwarf, tries to threaten Angelo one last time. The blue ogre solves that problem. He swallows Ultra whole. No more threat. Angelo walks through the glowing forest and finally reaches his grandmother's house before his parents arrive. Gu follows him quietly and helps him reach her room. She looks peaceful but weak, still sleeping. Angelo pulls out the little bottle the genie gave him. It's empty. He breaks down in tears and hugs his grandmother tightly. And then, something magical happens. Gu's tears fall. They transform into a glowing liquid that surrounds her gently. Her eyes open. She sits up. She laughs. She's alive again. And that's when Angelo understands the truth. Gu was the source of life all along. The source of life isn't a hidden treasure or secret spring. It is nature itself. The land, the sky, the wind, the water. Soon after, Angelo's parents finally arrive. They are stunned to see Grandma healthy, walking around and picking fruit. On the way there, his father nearly crashes the car. But Gu appears one final time to save them. The family hugs. They laugh. They cry. Before leaving, Angelo quietly places a small treat back into the forest. Gu uses it, and the world blooms again. Even though the movie looks like a simple children's fantasy, the message is powerful. Protect nature. Love your family. It's about love, heart, and connection.